Have you ever looked at an old photo and felt something you couldn't explain? Not sadness, not happiness, something stranger. For a moment, it feels like you're looking at someone you used to know, someone familiar, someone you haven't seen in years. And the strange part is, it's you. Maybe it happens when an old song starts playing, or when you find a forgotten picture buried somewhere in your phone. You stop scrolling. You stare at it for a second longer than usual, and suddenly, you're not looking at a memory anymore. You're looking at a person who used to be you. Sometimes the person we miss most isn't someone else, it's a version of ourselves. And that's a kind of grief nobody really talks about. Because when a person dies, the world understands your loss. People bring flowers, people check in, people ask if you're okay. But what do you do when the person you lost is a version of yourself? A version that's gone so gradually that nobody else even noticed they left. We talk about grief as if it only happens when we lose someone. A friend, a parent, a relationship, a life we once had. But there's another kind of grief that slips quietly through the cracks. The grief of realizing you've changed. Not all at once, not because of one dramatic moment, but little by little, year after year, until one day you come across a memory and realize you're missing someone. The version of you who used to stay up imagining the future. The version who made plans without immediately thinking of everything that could go wrong. The version who answered messages without rewriting them 3 times first. The version who laughed so hard they forgot to be self-conscious. Nobody tells us that we might miss those versions too. Because from the outside, everything looks normal. You're still here, same face, same name, same life. But somewhere deep down, you know that's not entirely true. And maybe that's what makes it hurt. The world can see that you're still here, but only you can see who's gone. What's strange is that we often think we're missing the past. But are we? Think about an old song you haven't heard in years. The moment it starts playing, something shifts. Not because the song is extraordinary, but because of who you were when you used to listen to it. You don't miss the song, you miss the person who used to play it. You don't miss the bedroom, you miss the dreams that lived there. You don't miss that year, you miss the person who lived inside it. You miss how life felt, before everything became so complicated, before every decision carried weight. Before every risk needed a backup plan, before you started carrying so much of the world on your shoulders. And maybe that's why nostalgia feels so confusing, because sometimes it's not the past you're looking for, it's yourself. Imagine your life as a house, filled with rooms. Behind one door is the child who is curious about everything. Behind another is the version of you who is brave enough to try things before knowing how they'd end. Behind another is the dreamer, the one who believed life was bigger than the horizon. Behind another is the playful version, the silly version, the creative version, the hopeful version, the trusting version, the one who still thought surprises were waiting around the corner. And behind one door sits a version of you you've almost forgotten, quietly waiting. You stopped visiting those rooms, not because they disappeared, but because life got louder. You became busy, responsible, careful, protected. You learned lessons, you built walls, you adapted, you survived. And somewhere along the way, the house grew quieter, the doors became harder to see, until eventually you forgot they were there at all. But maybe that's the mistake. Maybe those versions of you never left. Maybe they're still waiting. Not frozen in time, not exactly as they were, but still there, still part of you. Maybe you've just been standing too far away to hear them. Because growing up was never supposed to mean abandoning yourself. It was never supposed to mean locking every door behind you. Life changes us. Some innocence doesn't come back. Some experiences leave permanent fingerprints. You will never go back to exactly who you used to be. And maybe that's okay, because the goal was never to go backwards. The goal is to remember all your versions, to remember what they carried and bring a little of it forward. Maybe growing up isn't about replacing old versions of yourself. Maybe it's about learning how to carry them with you. Maybe they're all still part of who you are. And maybe the person you miss isn't gone after all. Maybe they've just been waiting for you to remember them. If you finally found the words for how you feel today, welcome. New reflections are shared every Sunday. Feel free to stay a while.